You talked about the month of me. How do you get started? How do you decide what to say no to? This is a question I received during a recent private event Q&A, and I realized it's a perfect topic to cover here since I've never actually covered the month of me challenge on this channel. So if you're currently struggling with remaining present or implementing self-care, things like setting boundaries, or if you find yourself struggling that you're constantly saying yes to everyone else and always saying no to yourself, then you're going to want to stick around. Because by the end of today's episode, you're going to have a crazy easy 30-day challenge that will help you decide what's worth saying yes to and what you need to start saying no to. If you're new here, my name is Corey Logaitis. I'm otherwise known as Corey Lowe, and I'm a professional keynote speaker, facilitator, executive coach, and author who helps leaders transform overwhelm into confident action, even in times of crisis. So this question came up as part of a keynote audience Q&A, and it's in response to a specific story that I share in the keynote and is also included in my upcoming book. And the story actually kicks off with me staring at this lighthouse. I'm on a family vacation. It's about 3 years after a very high conflict divorce. I had left an abusive marriage, and I find myself at the Portland Lighthouse of all places, staring at the lighthouse. I'm holding my son in a baby carrier. I remember I could smell the top of his baby head, that intoxicating baby smell, as well as I'm feeling like the salty breeze in my face. I'm looking at the beautiful flowers surrounding the lighthouse. And I have this light bulb moment where I go, oh my God, I'm actually present. Like I'm mentally present in the moment. And I had struggled for so long in all those years following my high conflict divorce and all the different crises that I had coming up, that all I ever wanted was to be present, especially with my son. I vividly remember rushing home from work every day to be able to give my son a bath. I wanted to play with him in the bath. And then feeling devastated that instead of focusing on him in the bath, I would be thinking about what project I needed to finish at work or what trauma I had just been through with the relationship. It was impossible, it seemed, for me to be able to separate one from the other. I always felt like I was split in two. And being at the lighthouse that day and anchoring myself in that moment, it made me realize something, that part of me was saying, why don't I have this every single day? And when I looked and I started thinking about all the different things that led up to me being at that lighthouse, the biggest change was that I actually had time and space to be able to enjoy on my vacation. I wasn't working. It was X amount of days off on a cruise ship. Their internet is terrible. So I was disconnected from the world. So it really helped me see very clearly that by saying yes to everybody else in terms of things like commitments and showing up and being there, every yes was a no to myself, and that I didn't have this time, space, or capacity that I needed to actually feel present. So when I got back from this trip, and I had actually decided, like, when I was looking at the lighthouse, which is the crazy part, but I decided when I got back from the trip that I was going to try this experiment. And I called it the month of me. And for 30 days, I was going to say no to any sort of obligation or commitment that was going to be in direct misalignment with my physical or mental health and wellness. And I made a very formal announcement on Facebook. I said, hey guys, I'm deleting all my apps. If you want to hang out, text my phone, but know that I'm doing this experiment. And the experiment itself was life-changing, and I'm going to be sharing it with you today. So I'd love to know, have you ever had a moment where you felt like you weren't truly present, that it was upsetting to you? Comment below. I'd love to hear about your experience. Know that you are not alone. I give this keynote to so many different audiences around the world, and this is by far one of the most resonant messages that I hear from people on a regular basis. All right, so let's break down how to do your own month of me. And in the process of doing it, I'm going to share with you specific examples of what I did, but the framework is highly customizable to what you need specifically. And I also do have a tool that's available on my website. We'll make sure that we link to it in the show notes, where utilizing ChatGPT, it'll help you figure out your month of me challenge. So first, super simple. First thing you have to do is you have to rate your health on a scale of 1 to 10. So when you're rating your health, you're going to rate it on the following things. First is going to be nutrition, then sleep, then hydration, then movement. That's physical exercise. And then lastly, your mental health. All right. So you're going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being sorely needs attention, to 10 being I am awesome at this. I need no help with it. I'm an expert. So from there, the reason why this is important is because this is going to help you then determine the bottom 3 max areas to start with. You could start with more than that. But I know for me, when I had done my initial month of me, the top areas were physical movement. I wasn't moving at all. I had a 20-hour-a-week commute, and it was very, very difficult for me to find the time to actually exercise. The other one that was a challenge for me was my mental health. And then the third one was my nutrition. Those were the 3 I was really focusing on. So the first thing that you're going to do once you have this information is you're going to list out what's actually not working for you in each category. Very simply, these are going to be the things that you're going to say no to. So for me, when I mapped this out, I was like, oh, okay, well, what's not working for me? I can't wake up early in the morning to be able to work out because I keep getting requests for social dinners, whether it be a business dinner in the evening that runs past 10 o'clock or my friends want to go out for dinner. So one of the first things I'm going to say no to is going to be dinner plans that'll have me out past 10 o'clock because I know then I won't wake up to work out. So you're going to list out what's not working for you. So that wasn't working for me in terms of what I was eating. I had absolutely no structure or plan to what I was doing. I was commuting a lot. I didn't have any downtime. So I was going to need to come up with solutions to eat whole, healthy foods while on the go. So figuring out what's not working for you is going to help you with the next step. Next, you're going to list out what's worked for you in the past for each category. These are going to be the things that you want to say yes to. So when you look at my example, one thing that was a big, huge neon sign yes for me was in the past, I had seen a lot of success doing the Whole30 reset. I'm not going to dive into it here because this is not a health and nutrition podcast or show. But that said, it worked very well for me. I've been doing it for over 10 years. Works great for the way that my mind likes structure. You have to meal prep in advance. It was a big yes for me. So that was one of the things I knew I was going to implement for my 30-day plan. That's actually one of the reasons it was a 30-day plan, because I knew, hey, while I do this Whole30, let's test out all this other stuff at the same time. So those are going to be things that you say yes to. Other things that had worked well for me in the past were things like yoga. I love doing yoga. I had also loved doing things like Olympic lifting, but I'd very recently had a back injury, which was preventing me from being able to lift. But yoga was still on the table. So I decided, I found on YouTube or something, it was like a 30-day yoga challenge. Awesome. That's going to be something I'm going to say yes to. So then from there, you're going to list out what's next in terms of self-care, what you're going to commit to, and you start mapping it out on your calendar. So for my month of May, and I already alluded to a few of them, I was going to do the Whole30 nutritional plan. I was also going to do the 30-day yoga plan. And I also on the calendar was going to specifically put in appointments for things like working with my therapist as well as meditation classes, because those are things that I had yet to try, that I wanted to try, that I knew would directly impact the mental health side, which are things I needed help with. Once I map that out, then from there it's very easy to see different roadblocks that were going to pop up that were going to prevent these things from happening. When you think of roadblocks, you're thinking of things like interruptions, for example. So one of my roadblocks is going to be these dinner plans. I was constantly being asked to go for business dinners and dinners with my girlfriends. So in order to accommodate this, you have to set boundaries and hold yourself accountable. So I set very firm boundaries that I was like, for 30 days, I'm not doing business dinners. I need to take care of myself. This is part of a temporary project for me. I will not do a business dinner that'll have me out past 10 o'clock in the evening. I need to be home by 10. I also will not be going out with the girlfriends. If you want to go for brunch on a Sunday, cool. But if you want me to go out on a Friday night, not going to happen. I need to be able to wake up early to do my yoga and everything else I had committed to myself. So you set boundaries to hold yourself accountable. So those are the things you're going to say both yes and no to. And then from there, you're going to try it out for 30 days and see how your habits change. And truth is, over the 30 days, you're going to find some things are going to work great. Some things are going to be not so great. And then from there, it's a matter of just pivoting. You go back to the same exact framework that I just talked about. When you think about it, it's very simple. You go back to what's working great, what's not working great, what could I try differently for the next 30 days? And then you keep enhancing and pivoting and making minor changes until you find a health and wellness solution that works well for you. So I highly encourage it. Try it out for 30 days, map out your own month of me and see how your habits change. It was transformational for me. I had initially done my first month of me over 8 years ago at this point, and the habits I put in place, I still use today. So to recap, the month of me is a very simple 30-day challenge where you say yes to opportunities to care for yourself and no to the roadblocks and challenges surrounding them. Anything that's in misalignment for your physical and mental health and wellness is just a no. So you can start your own today by, again, you're going to rate your mental and physical health on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're a rock star at it and 1 or 0 being you need a lot of work on it. And then from there, you're going to list out what's not working when it comes to those areas, what's worked before. And then from there, it makes it very easy what to say yes to and what to say no to, as well as to figure out what roadblocks that might prevent you from getting there so that you could accommodate them via things like boundaries to hold yourself accountable or to hold other people accountable. And then it's as simple as trying it for 30 days and seeing what happens. You have absolutely nothing to lose. So hopefully you found my sharing my month of me challenge helpful today. If you have a follow-up question or any other question related to physical and mental health and wellness, anything related to the lack of conditioning culprit, which is what this episode covered, feel free to go ahead, drop them in the comments below. You could also send me a DM on LinkedIn, send my team an email. We just may feature your question on a future episode. And as I mentioned, I cover the month of me in detail. There's a whole chapter in my book on it with even more strategies. So grab my book, The 5 Overwhelmed Culprits, Strategies to Save Your Sanity Without Sacrificing Your Success. It's available on May 12th, and you could pre-order it right now in the show notes. You could also learn even more ways to work with me, whether that be the digital tools and resources. Like I mentioned before with the Month of Me AI Companion, there's also information on how to work with me one-on-one via coaching or even with teams and organizations via keynotes and workshops. You can find all those details in the notes below. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode. I'll see you next time. Thanks for checking out The Next Step with Corey Lowe. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, subscribe, and leave a review. Together, we'll transform overwhelm into action, and we'll keep taking the next step towards confident leadership. See you next time.